Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing? My name is Dr. Janet Lockhart-Jones, and I am super excited to be here. Now, look at me, y'all. What do you see? Let me tell you what you see. You see a beautiful black queen up on the stage in front of you who seems like she has it all together. Now, I would say right now, I do, but it hasn't always been that way. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. Because, see, when people are going through mental unwellness, you often can't see their pain and their struggle, right? And so, what I am doing at this stage of my life is helping people transition from mental unwellness to, check this out, mental wealth. So, I want to talk to you today about my journey into mental unwellness and what happened to me, in hopes that it will touch one of you, at least one of you today, so that you won't necessarily have to deal with what I dealt with. So let me share my story with you. So let me take you back to 1995. Yeah, we're going back a little bit. And I was working a corporate type of job, and during that time, during those years, I wore suits, even wore pantyhose, y'all. Now, you know today, a lot of people don't wear pantyhose, but I wore pantyhose. I had my suits going to work every day. So I happened to go to work this particular day, and I said, ooh, I got a sore throat, or something's not wrong with my throat. So I decided that I was going to sashay Shantae over to the urgent care, right? And so I sashayed Shantae over to the urgent care, went in to see this physician who I've never seen before, right? And so we shook hands, and he said, what brings you in today? I said, well, I got this little tickle in my throat. And I think I got a sore throat. Maybe I got bronchitis. Maybe I got any kind of itis, but I need to know what's going on. And so he did this thing. You know what they do? Bit, bit, bam, right? And he's like, oh, okay. And then he stepped back. And I was waiting, for some type of diagnosis that would be over if I took some antibiotics. But this is what he said. He stepped back and he said, remember, this is my first time I've seen this man, right? And there have been no lab blood tests or anything. So this is what he said. After the bit, bit, bam, you have HIV. I said, what? I said, what the heck, and I'm not sure I used that word, are you talking about? You said, I have HIV? This is what he said. Yeah, you have HIV because I've seen this before in people who look like you. People who look like you. Now, I told y'all I sashayed Shantae in my suit and pantyhose over to the doctor. I had finished my master's degree. I was working on my doctoral degree, but I was still lumped in a category because of the color of my skin. I was frozen. I was frozen. So for the next 18 months, I went through a multitude of tests. I would go to the lab, and they would print out so many different labels for blood vials that you could start a paper factory. I'm like, what the heck? It was embarrassing. For 18 months, I suffered with acute anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. And what type of work was I doing? I was still a trainer. I would stand up in front of an audience, and it would feel like pins were sticking in my head. And then people come up to me, oh, Janet, that was the best training class I went to. But inside, I was dying. Finally, after 18 months, I decided to go see an infectious disease specialist. Again, another litany of tests. And she said, and I quote, "Well, Ms. Lockhart, you may have something, but it's not HIV." So this is how I share you this story, because this is the type of trauma that we often go through. In my case, it was a misdiagnosis, it was bias, it was prejudice, it was stereotyping, all because of the color of my skin. It didn't matter whether or not I had a master's degree. It didn't matter that I was 2 years from finishing my doctoral dissertation. It didn't matter. But I was down, but I was not out. Not only did I change doctors, I started seeing a GP, told her what was going on, GP, general practitioner, told her what was going on, and she prescribed me something, medication. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that I'm still on medication today, but I'm also living my best life because I refuse to be defined by that misdiagnosis and carry that with me the rest of my life. So that's really what my platform is all about, helping people to transition from mental unwellness to mental wealth. You know, you hear a lot of workshops about financial literacy and financial wealth, right? How to build financial wealth. But if you do not have mental wealth, what you gonna do with your money? You're not gonna know how to invest it, how to spend it, anything, because you will not have control of your mental faculties. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, mental wealth is real wealth. And if you do have a mental illness, reach out. National Association for Mental Illness is phenomenal. APA, the American Psychological Association, phenomenal for getting you started in resources. Don't fall for that okie doke where people, where you may have in your family, people don't talk about mental illness or mental unwellness. It's a stigma. People are going to think I'm crazy. Look, I thought about that too at one point. And then I said, I got to fix me. So now I'm in the business of helping others take that path to mental wealth. So I will have programs coming out, working myself, working with different psychotherapists, working with psychiatrists, and developing a program that will allow the underserved communities to get the mental help that they need. That's what's important to me, because I don't think that people should be suffering from mental health unnecessarily. So you might be thinking, well, how can I reach you, Dr. Janet? You can go to drjanetspeaks.com, DRJANET speaks.com. My corporate website is www.projectpartnersconsulting.com. Let me say that again, www.projectpartnersconsulting.com. And let me leave you with this. Your mental illness, if you have one, or mental unwellness in general, does not define you. It's not who you are. You know, it often rains. We get wet, we walk through the water, but we are not the rain. And you are not your mental illness. Thank you.